So finally, the dev team have broken the silence and have posted a brand new update for us that yes, they are aware of the damage mitigation issues that you are facing and any armor problems that you are also dealing with Outriders. So we're going to be going over this brand new thread from the community manager and a bunch of other things in this video. But we're also going to be talking about what they're going to be doing going forward to address these issues. So let's do this. Hey everyone, what's happening? Open World Games here. Hope you're doing good. And let's dive straight into the latest news about Outriders. This time it is official news from the community manager at Square Enix. He went on to post this thread right here out on the official subreddit, or I should say it's like just the Outriders subreddit. Anyway, check it out. It says Outriders damage mitigation issue gather thread. It says, hello everyone. I wanted to set up this thread to note that we are aware of the issue whereby damage mitigation isn't acting as expected for some players, resulting in those players dying very quickly or in some cases instantly when hit by an attack. Issues with mod cooldowns, or mods not proccing may be related to this. So they are aware of this issue, and thank God they posted something noting all of this. They say thank you to everyone who has so far reported this issue, and thank you also to everyone who has shared their findings around it in those threads. We are reading all these threads and have been using your detailed findings to help out our own investigation and work towards reproducing this issue consistently. So they are currently working on it, hopefully for an upcoming patch. I would imagine that they would have a patch for this and a bunch of the other issues that the community is facing right now. So let's take a look at what's going on. And also, a lot of you guys are wondering, did the recent patch cause more issues? Well, there's an interesting thing here. Just wait for it in this thread. So let's dive in. It says, first up, our latest patch did not intentionally change any formulas which would have directly caused this. We did not make armor weaker or enemies stronger. If we did, every single player would be feeling the effects of that. Yeah, I myself haven't run into this problem a lot of you guys are facing. I'm one of the lucky ones. Now it says, rather, it looks like there's a bug which may temporarily strip away a mechanic such as armor mitigation, for example, for some players under certain conditions. It says, here's what we know so far. We've been tracking a similar issue with damage mitigation since before our last patch released. As we were unable to find a consistent reproduction of it at the time, it was not addressed in the latest patch, and our investigation is ongoing. This thread will help us further identify the cause. So this is definitely interesting. It says, what makes our investigation a little harder is that because previously bugged mods, such as emergency stance and perseverance, were fixed as part of the patch, the difficulty of the game for users who are relying on such mods has increased. Additionally, it's possible that the bug status of these mods previously obscured this mitigation issue, which is why it may appear more prevalent now. It says we need to separate our genuine bugs with damage mitigation from reports that the game has become harder overall due to the mod fixes. Such feedback is still useful, but it's not relevant to the particular investigation. Yeah, because they're also going to be doing some sort of rebalancing to the game as well. And that's where the feedback to the game being harder would come into play, I would imagine. Right now, they're looking at bugs. Anything that's really game-breaking, and this is a game-breaking bug. Just because, I haven't experienced it doesn't mean you haven't experienced it. It probably means that some of you are experiencing this weird bug. And that's why it's so difficult to track. It's also interesting they noted that their patch didn't really, cause this bug. That in fact, because they fixed the emergency stance issue in Golem, this bug reared its ugly face, which is probably what happened. So I find that one very fascinating as well. Now, let's dive further into the thread, shall we? It says this. The issue at hand appears to be quite random in nature, affecting random players at seemingly random times. This is by no means insinuates that the damage mitigation issue does not exist. We fully acknowledge that there is an issue with damage mitigation for some players at this point in time. And it might be more than just some players by the threads, out on the subreddit. Now they're asking for your help if you have run into this issue. They go on to say this. To help us better understand it, please copy and paste and fill out the below questions if you have encountered such an issue. Note, if you are also able to share an uploaded video of the issue occurring, this would be also very helpful as well. And there's a bunch of questions right here if you are willing to help out and if you really enjoy Outriders. It would be nice to see this issue resolved, because I myself personally really like this game and I want to see it continue. Some of you feel like it's about to head in the way of Anthem. I really hope that is not the case. I would honestly be super gutted by that, because I think this game has more potential than Anthem just because of the loot pool and the armor. All of it is a lot better in my opinion than what was offered by Anthem. Alright, now we do have an additional reply here. This was the question. Mac Ferguson says, can you clarify if there were any situations in which a one-shot is intended mechanic? This would make it much easier to know if I'm seeing a bug or not. Now, Square Enix responded saying there are mechanics in the game that should, in theory, prevent a complete one-shot from 100% to 0%. This just tells you that there is definitely something going on with the game if you're being one-shotted, because they say that there are safeguards, I guess you would say, in place to prevent that from happening, and that should not be happening whatsoever. Now, we have a really good idea here, and I really, really would love to see this in, I was about to say Anthem, in Outriders. Check it out right here. This one comes from Blackjack. He says, Thiago needs rotating loot weekly. Says title, this is written with regards to legendary loot. In addition to it, I am not sure how his legendary piece stats work at the moment, as I've only been playing properly again the last few days. If not RNG stats, his gear needs to include a random number roll, so he's not guaranteed to be trash or the best loot with a fixed roll on firepower armored values. This also gives purpose to him every week. Think this will help alleviate expeditions, RNG burnout, and flesh out some builds for lower skilled players. And there's a lot of agreement with this one. Let me know your take on this as well, but it would be really cool to give Thiago more purpose in the game, and weekly resets and things like that are seen in a lot of looter shooters anyway. And in my opinion, it doesn't seem like this sort of thing requires the game to be labeled as a live service game. It's just mathematics of randomly rotating the shop. We already see countdowns and stuff like that with shops. So I think this one would be actually possible to do in the future for Outriders, and I really, really, really do believe they need to do something like this. This is where they can also potentially reward players that have been through all of the bugs, saying, hey, yo, there's shop discounts right now as part of our weekly reset. Go see Thiago. Thank you for being so patient with us. Check him out. That's just another idea, and I think it's something that should definitely be considered. Now, yeah, mentioning Anthem, a lot of people are worried that this game is now officially headed down that road. That was one game that you guys may remember I covered extensively. I personally still enjoy the core mechanics of that game, but let's take a look at what you guys had to say right here. Check this out. It says, I honestly am in disbelief that this turned out into another Anthem. This comes from Hakuna M4T. M4T, it says, after Anthem, hell no, after No Man's Sky, you would think devs would be more cautious and careful about releasing their game, as they have talked it up to be. Even renowned devs like BioWare and CD Projekt Red, while still able to make a ton of profit from their failures, Anthem and Cyberpunk have completely demolished their reputations. Now, People Can Fly didn't have as much going for it as those other two devs, and it just committed seppuku with how they handled this game. When the tough gets going, these devs are quick to disappear. So at least thankfully today, they did respond and acknowledge that there is an issue with damage mitigation, that they are, yes, currently working on it. I think they just need to nail down these issues, focus on rewarding the player base. I know they want to restore inventories, but that sounds like that's a total pain right now for them. But I think focusing on the core issues right now, in my humble opinion, is the way to go to keep the current player base playing. Because a lot of you guys that have your inventory wiped either left the game already, or you just moved on to an alt character and made it into your main, and you want to enjoy the game as is. Maybe you need to be rewarded further, by People Can Fly for your efforts, for sticking with the game, considering all the problems. Alright, now there is another interesting thread here that Cooldown Reduction is also breaking as well. Now, I think People Can Fly probably needs to investigate this one too. And it's related to, of course, armor and certain gear sets not activating the cooldowns. More specifically tied to the Devastator, it seems. that's definitely noteworthy. Let me know if you guys have noticed anything with that one as well. But let me know this. I noticed this thread once again getting a lot of attention, and it's about, of course, our alien monster friend right here. I personally call him the tripod alien. I know he's not a tripod, but he looks like the alien from War of the Worlds, so that's why I call him that. But yeah, it'd be cool to be able to battle against these guys right here. Let's zoom this in. Check them out. That would be really, really cool to see in future DLC. It seems like a lot of you guys want to see those bigger battles return. If they do the bigger battles, they definitely need to modify those so you're using more of your abilities, since a lot of these characters are focused on CQC, close quarters combat type abilities, except for, you know, the Technomancer can get away with more distance. But anyway, I would love to see that type of epic boss battle in like a future expansion or something like that. Alright, let's go over your top comments. Remember, leave a comment down below. It can end up in a future video, so let's do this, shall we? Here we go. So my most recent video was called New Discovery Makes the Game So Much Better. All new updates. This discovery is really weird. So if you are having problems currently with your armor, you can just, and like damage mitigation, you can just simply unequip your armor and then re-equip it, and it might actually fix your issue. I kid you not. It's that simple of a fix, and a lot of people are testing it out right now, and apparently it works. Now, TPJ Gaming says, even the game assumes everyone's gear got wiped. Mr. Greenstream Base Cover says, can't confirm, still tying like a fly in the wind. So he's been testing it, trying to get it to work. Fire Paladin says, in a patch far, far away, I'll be able to play with my main again. Someday, man. Someday. Like a boy Greg says, so pretty much their servers constantly think some people don't have any armor on. Jamani Meadow says, if they don't fix the loot drop, they will lose me. It's an Anthem grind all over again. I see this once again. Yeah, that was my biggest worry from seeing the responses from the demo. You saw people that were, again, having a party, getting tons of legendaries. I don't know if they were using some sort of PC trainer or cheats, but and then you have people sitting there like me. I'm like, I'm only getting one legendary, barely. So it's such a different story, and I think it just depends on how you play the game, or if you just get lucky. That's RNG for you, but it can go badly for part of the community, and when that happens, that's not good. So yeah, a lot of you guys are complaining still that you're not getting the appropriate legendary drops. So yeah, people can fly. I think they need to do something with Diego. Reward players, perhaps every weekend, to really reinvigorate the community, bring interest back into this game. People will pay attention. In my opinion, people will return if they're like, oh, there's cool legendary items that Diego is selling for half off, or even like even more than that. So yeah, that could be something of potential right there. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more Outriders news and updates. I mean, it's good that at least the dev team have come out and broken the silence. I was really worried there. I mean, we're getting into midweek practically, and not hearing from them is just like, what in the world? Of course, they have that holiday, but you know, they have a community that they really, I would hope they would want to take care of. They did such a good job during the demo. I really want to see them continue. But thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.